Hey guys, Heavy Arms 45 here. I've been dreading doing this one. I really have. This is gonna be one of my DMing moments, my Pathfinder role playing moments. I wanted to hold off on this one, but I told y'all last time I did a role playing one that I was gonna talk about this, so I can't really run away from it. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk about it. So there was a character that started my campaign. He only lasted one session, but that session was memorable. It was so memorable. Now, like everyone else, this flying ship comes in to port, going through the plains, coming to my Animea. Now, when it comes to Animea, I'm side note. Everyone else that I've told you in the last one has left. We've tried to have them come back on several occasions. It kind of just became a moment where we all just kind of like hung out and not much happened. So this new guy, very new to the game, decides to play. We're like, okay, we'll give him a start, and so we let him build his character. He did it when we weren't playing, so he built his character, and his character was a dwarf. Now, as he being a dwarf, you know, I'm Javo. Like, as Heavy on 45, I am constantly enjoying the idea of being Javo. Javo has been my longest running not player, but character that I've played. So when it comes to dwarves, I am very vested into dwarves. So if someone butchers a dwarf, I feel very offended. Well, this dwarf name was Teddy. Teddy the dwarf. So, like I said, new to the game, never played before. He comes into the city. He goes to a dwarven bar. As he's in the dwarven bar, he just decides that he's gonna start a fight. And a dwarf tries to tell him to calm down. And no, he doesn't want to. So he actually starts a fight in the dwarven bar. And after he does, he tries to run off. Well, as he's running off, Javo, as I've said on other occasions, I believe, has boots of his armor is stride and spring, and he has boots of haste. So this dwarf is doing, like, literally booking it at fast as he can run, and Javo's literally just about walking for the most part, because he's taking his 10 rounds and just like, hey, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. And finally, the Teddy, I'm not even finna call him a dwarf because he got on my nerves so bad. He really did. Teddy stops and is sent to be put on trial. Now, as the trial's going on, the only witness to the whole situation is the person who arrests him, who is Javo, like I've said before. So Javo is saying what happened when he was in the dwarven bar. Well, this Teddy proceeds to call Javo and another dwarf that's in there. I believe it was Beernock. Yeah, because Beernock was on his good behavior this time. Because there was no alcohol and he still couldn't drink. And Teddy called both of them house dwarves, which as me being Javo in just about everything I play, like Javo, like I said, is my character. He called him a house dwarf, which in my mind went right back to the slave moment. So I'm like, did he just call me a house nigga? What the? So in my head, I really like got offended personally because you just talked about my character. Now, out. If he's listening to this, I'm gonna say he did try to clean up. He tried to say, no, I was talking about the other dwarf. He said it directly to Javo. That's my problem. He said it directly to him. That was the moment I wanted to get out of character for Javo. Because Javo's lawful good. He's supposed to be good for lawfulness and goodness. And for that very moment, I thought about using the rule of stupidity is punishable by death and hit him over the head with the sharp end of my dwarven war axe. But I didn't. He got on my nerves with that. So, there was a fight that ensued. Originally they tried to get him to go into different fights to go with. But the problem was when the party would go one way, Teddy would go another. So he was never there when they were trying to get set up to do, story stuff. And it's fine. I let him do his own thing. He did his own stuff. But eventually, his house dwarf comments got him kind of into a fight with Beernock. Beernock proceeded to take him to the arena and told him that we finna fight this out. And so they duel each other. Full weapon, all their weapons, everything they have. Beernock now has did his atonement. He is back to having all his abilities back from maybe not his deity, but from a deity, we'll put it. And so he is at full strength while this new dwarf that thinks that he's King Dingling out there, I ain't got much. I'm trying to see, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm trying to see everything that his character had because I've really forgotten everything about him except for the story of Teddy. Um Teddy. Teddy got on my nerves. I'm telling y'all, I want to kill a Ted. That had to be if there was a way for me to kill Teddy and still been a good DM, I might have did it. Just saying. But it's mostly just because of the fact of he said that Javo was a house dwarf. I mean, like, the amount of disrespect to my character. I mean, disrespect indeed. Oh, my goodness. Apparently, I don't have his character sheet. It must be with the other party members. So, let me go ahead with the story. Beernock didn't, like, the reason we had the combat, I'm like, okay, this is a good way for him to learn how to battle. It's an easy fight. I figured that Beernock could show him the ropes for the most part. And oh yeah, and presiding over this fight is Javo. Because this is a fight between two dwarves over dwarven honor. So a dwarf has to be the one over this. And so it was a lot of magic that went around. And like I said, Beer not pretty much whooped the floor with him. I I would say I felt sorry for him, but I didn't. I didn't. I mean, as a DM, yes, I should feel sorry for him because he's a new character and also, but he called Javo a house dwarf. He made you sound like Javo and Beernock were just like like they were just followers of these they were just people who followed other people. They were not just followers, but they were subservient to the elves because the person who originally was doing the trial was Alex. And with me being them, I was Alex too. So as they're explaining stuff to him about what happened, and he starts talking about calling them house dwarves, I was really left it up to Javo after that point, like I said. And so the fight was pretty uneventful. They tried to get him to apologize for what happened, and in, you could say, the most honorable way. I didn't see it that way. I will probably never see it that way. In the most honorable way of doing things, he sacrificed his life so that he could keep the honor of being considered a dwarf. Well, what had happened was Javo tried to let him have his dwarven dignity in like living and telling him how, trying to tell him that if he wants to die not as a dwarf but just as a nothing, he can do that. But he really tried, like, I really tried to save his character, but I was like, come on, do you really want to just like die like this? And he's like, I'd rather die like this than to be a house dwarf. I'm like, now that I think about it, did he think that he would Killmonger from Black Panther? What kind of stuff was he doing? Well, Jalo took his axe out and cut his head off. That's what he asked him to do. I literally gave him a choice. I tried several times to save his character, and he's like, I'd rather die like this. I'm like, I looked at everybody, and I cut his head off. And was it a stupid moment then? No, I would not consider that a stupid moment in DM. I have a lot of times I've did stupid moments in DM, and that was not one of them. He was trying to be very animated, and I don't mind somebody being animated. You heard the story of Beernock. I don't have a problem with you being animated. I just have a problem with you being animatedly stupid. And you can say to me, well, you didn't teach him how to play. Well, a character is whatever you want to make it. And the character he made had a very short lifespan. Not because I chose for it to have a short lifespan, but because he chose for it to have a short lifespan. That has nothing to do with me. So, he died. The disrespect that I gave to him, though, was that Huggins was there. And if I remember correctly, Huggins decided that, hey, I kind of want his head. And proceeded to use his head, I think, as a cup now. I think he still has it like as a bowl for whenever he decides to eat. And like he eats food from Teddy's head. I mean skull. I don't know what happened to the rest of them. I might know what happened to the rest. Actually, I do know what happened to the rest of them. Back when I played in Tal Shindor as Javo, there was a friend of mine in the game named Ox. Ox had a had a dream for his character Cujo. I believe I've told y'all about Cujo. Cujo the hyena. Cujo's dream of doing was to have a diner of his own. And so that's what we did. In my story, there is a Cujo's diner. You kill it, we grill it, is what he said. So Cujo, being a knoll, doesn't really care what you bring to him. He'll cook anything. And so he proceeded to cook the rest of Teddy. I don't know who else ate it because we never said the dwarf was on menu. But I do know that the body was given to several different people that probably didn't ask questions on what were they eating. So he probably was eaten mostly by Huggins. And his skull is still Huggins' little food bowl whenever he feels like eating out of it. And drinking out, whichever one. But yeah, that's what happened to Teddy. It was a very sad emotion. Why am I telling the story? I didn't want the person who played to not want to play with us again. But I saw it as his character had to die because he wanted his character to die, not because I wanted it to have happened. I feel like by saying this, I am really making myself sound bad because I'm like, yeah, I killed the character. I'm glad he did. Kind of like Samuel Jackson. Yeah, I'm glad he did. I hope it burns in hell. No. I don't feel like that, but it was a problem character from a person who didn't understand how to play the game that we really were trying to help learn how to play. But I didn't get the feeling like he wanted to learn. I think he enjoyed the interaction with everyone else being there, but I don't think he really enjoyed the game itself. Maybe if he decides to play again with us when all this COVID's over with, maybe we'll be able to have another character for him to build and see how it can go. And we can start off with him having a little bit more sense than what he did this time. Well, the last time. This is not meant to be bashing characters, okay? Character bashing is bad. You're not supposed to try and kill your characters. And I know this. And you know this. So, what I need y'all to understand is Teddy was sacrificed for the greater good. The greater good. So, I hope y'all have a good night. I hope y'all enjoyed this story of Teddy and his short lifespan. Have a good night. Later.